Hello my friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. This is Sheree and I'm here today for the Jewelry Making Fun Collab 2023 hosted by Dahlia Designs, Jewelry and More, Deb Houck. So we do this once a month on the 18th and there are several participants who will all be listed in my box below. So just click on the more and it will open up and you can see and check out all the participants. And if you if this is something you're really interested in or learning, they just have some great ideas. So just check everyone out. Everyone takes the prompts and does something, whatever they want to do. So it's really interesting to see how everyone interprets the prompts. So this month's prompts is for July. Colors are yellow, black, red, and white. And then we have two options. So option 1 is bee or other insect themed set, and option 2 is use material new to me, which I don't use or rarely use. And an example would be cording, leather, paper, and buttons. So I kind of take the prompts and the options and kind of do my own thing, if you know what I mean. So last month, like, the colors were something like red, white, and tan. So I didn't have anything tan, so I used blue. So I just did red, white, and blue since it's going to be July the next month. So, I made a red, white, and blue tassel, which was a lot of fun, and it turned out really beautiful. This month I don't have any black, so I am using yellow, I'm using red, and I'm using green and some white. So I'm going to make a little kind of bead dangle like this. So you can do something like this, and depending on what you put on the top, you can do lots of different things with it and use any kind of like big beads for something like this, beads with big holes. Any kind of theme or color or shape that you want. If you put a key ring on the top, it could be a little keychain or it could be purse dangle type thing. I use my little things like this for my journals, and you can hook this onto a journal by itself or with a tassel. Let me show you something real quick, just one second. So as an example of one of these like bead dangles, I'm going to call it, with a tassel. I made this little journal this past week. Here's a tassel that I made to go with it. And so here's my tassel on a notebook ring. And then I have this little snowman bead dangle. I have it on a bulb pin, this one. And then I just also hooked that onto, or attached it onto the notebook ring. And there I have a cute little, it all goes together, of course, to go with my journal. So if you don't know, if you're new here or you haven't really watched my videos before on this channel, I have two other channels which will be linked below, and the other one is a crafting kind of junk journal, paper crafting channel. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Here's the snowman like I just showed you. I wanted to show you it by itself. It's I got this little it was a little craft set of beads like this. It just had these, and it had the jute twine, and I added the bulb pin. I already had those, and it had all, a little hat and everything, beads that you use for this particular craft. It was a little craft set that I got on Temu, and I saw it on there and I wanted to try it, and so this is what it made. And I thought they were super cute. It made quite a few. Here's the whole, I used that one, of course, with that tassel. This one came with it, and here's all the ones I've already made. I just sat in front of the TV one night and made all these little bead dangles. So they are super cute, and it didn't, I kind of had to figure it out by myself because it didn't come with instructions. Just a warning, if you go over to Temu and you get these, they didn't come with instructions, so I had to figure it out. The thing I did at the bottom here was tie a little knot, because it didn't come, as far as I know, it didn't come with anything. I think this was meant to be the hat, and I went by a picture that they had on their website, and then I tied a little knot down here, And if I were to do it again, I might do a little different, but then I put a little glue down here in the knot so it wouldn't come undone. So that's just a little tip there. So for today's craft, I am making this bead dangle. Now the thing I would do different, like for this, if I had any bead spacers, like I have bead spacers and I even got them out. I have little bead spacers like this, but they're more for bracelets or earrings or whatever, something like that, or smaller beads. They are different size beads or whatever. These particular ones here I use with tassels on the top of a tassel. These right here I used with the same thing. I don't know if you can see those are little bronze pieces. But I tried all of these for today's craft to see if I could use them with these big beads, and they just, you know, they're just not right for this particular thing. I have some here I got out, little silver ones, and that hole there is just really small, so it's more for like a bracelet. And then I got out these little bronze ones, which also, they're like little, almost look like little flowers, but again, the hole in those is really too small for this craft. So that's going to be on my shopping list, is some little spacer beads, because I think that would be really pretty. That would fit over the cording, you know, with a bigger hole that I could put in between these beads. But I made a little, here's my bee. That was one of the prompts. And then I used these beads because that's the colors I have. I don't have any black. Yeah, so I used all the other colors, right? Yep. Except, and so I added green basically, and yellow. No, yellow is one of the colors. So I'm going to show you how I made this because I watched a video. I watched it, I'm going to say a month or so ago, and I saved it because I wanted to do this. So when today's, you know, collab came up, I thought, let me do this because I want to make some bee. It was a bee theme, so I wanted to make some bee, something with bees to go with. I'm going to make a bee journal or bee journals in the future. I have a whole little stack of goodies I'm saving up for a bee journal, so I thought, let me go ahead and make some bee type themed bee dangles. So the cording I'm using now, so this was option 2, use cording that I never used before. So I looked through my cording and strings and things and found this. It was never opened before, so I've never used it, but I picked it up and saved it. I picked it up probably with a bunch of, you know, at the thrift store where you get kind of, sometimes you get a bunch of sewing notions in a group, a bag or something. I don't know which particular bag this was in, but this was the wrapping, and I want to show you the name of it because I've like I said, I've never used this before. Maybe you have some and you don't know what to do with it, so you could make bead dangles out of it. There's probably a lot more things you can do with it, but this is, you know, I found this to work really well. 6 yards rayon soutache, I don't know, but like I said, I've never used. I love this little label too. I'm going to save that for my paper crafting. But first thing what I did was measure my cording. So let me get rid of some trash there. So the video I watched, I don't know if she ever said how much cording she used. I didn't hear it, but I looked at what she was using, and it was it looked like about 12 inches. So I got my ruler, did 12 inches. I thought, let me add a couple more inches just to make sure I have enough, you know. I don't know what's going to happen during the process. So I did. I just added like 1, 2, and a little bit more. And that was plenty, really. I'm actually going to add a little bit more this time. So I probably added about 3 inches. Let me see. It's probably, it's too much. I had extra, but you need that leeway when you're doing this. If you've ever done that, this particular exact thing before, you'll see what I'm talking about, or you know what I'm talking about. So next, I've only done it once before, but like I said, I just saw this a couple months ago, and I saved the video so I could try it. So I just tried it on for the first time on this one, and it came out right. So, but I did have to trust the process. So first of all, make sure you don't have any frayed ends, whatever cording you're using, because you need your ends to go through your beads. So I got my 2 ends together, I got this together, and then I got my little end piece, which these are some hooks I've used these before, but not very much. So that's another thing. I wanted to go ahead and try using this. So that's another thing I've never hardly ever used. I've only used like one or two, and again, these came with a bunch of other stuff that I got at the thrift store. But I thought, okay, yeah, I can probably use those. So I saved them. I put them in my little organizer here. So let's get out another one. And so again, you put, say you use a notebook ring or a bulb pin or a key ring, you know, with a lobster claw clasp or something like that. You do it all the same way. So I put this through here with the little loop and the two ends that are loose on that end, and you know, you already made sure those ends were together and even, and then you put this through there through your little loop and then pull it tight so you've got your top there together nice and strong, and then just take your beads. So these beads, this is the beads I'm using. I have a little bag that I put them in, but all these little wood beads I got from Dollar Tree at Easter, or you know, around springtime when spring first started, back in March and April. They had little bags of these beads, and I got a couple. So these are all, I got 2 or 3 actually, so you can see how many beads. I got a lot of beads in there. I got probably too many. I shouldn't have bought so many, but they're only $1.25 each. So, and then also I got this. This was around in spring too. It had this rainbow on the end, but for $1.25, had that little rainbow on the end. I'll use that at some point in one of my journals, probably as the dangle on the end. It would be cute on something like this too, on hanging on the side of a journal, on the right journal, you know. So anyway, I picked up a couple of these because this had the red and a different color green that's in this bag. These are a darker green, and the yellow is even a little bit lighter, I think. So that's where I got my beads, Dollar Tree. So we need to get the colors. So let's see, let me look at the last one again. Where is it? I've pushed it over to the side here. So I like this one, but I think I want more yellow in this one. And let's see, these are brighter yellow in this bag from the bags at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to get 3 yellows. I want to use 3 yellows. I used 2 yellows that time. So 3 yellows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I used 7 beads. That was pretty much that. You can make them shorter, you can make them longer, but I don't think I would make mine any longer. So 3 yellows. Now I need 4 more beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like the red one a lot. That really kind of has a pop of color in the middle. So let's get a red. That's 4. Let's get 2 red. Let's try this one with 2 red. I wish I had some black, but I don't. That would be perfect, right, for a bead dangle, but I'll have to put that on my shopping list too, some black wooden beads, or keep my eye out at Dollar Tree. I'm hoping they come out with some at Halloween like this, and then I'll get some too, if I don't already have some. So we've got 5. I need 2 more. Let's see, I don't know. I think I like the darker green, and those were in this bag. So I need 2 more. Let's get 2 dark green. And I did use the white in this one for the prompt, but for this one that I'm making right now, I'm not going to use a white. Okay, like I said, I put my own spin on the prompts, right? Just kind of do what I want to do. So anyway, now to get started, I did like the green, but since I have 3 yellows this time, let's put a yellow first. So all you do, like, this is super easy. I thought it was easy when I saw it, but when I did it, I thought it was even more easy, except for the last part. And you kind of got to trust the process on the last part, and I will show you what I'm talking about. So just 1. So if you have spacer beads, then you put a spacer bead on, but I don't have any. So then I'm going to do a green. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Let me do a red next to the yellow. I think that red and yellow actually really look good next to each other. They kind of just set each other off when you have yellow and green. I mean, yellow and red together. Okay, now a green. And that is the color I added that wasn't on the prompts. Okay, so yellow, red, and green. I've got all the colors, but I have 3 yellows, right? So I'm going to do another yellow now. We'll see how this turns out. And I'm just putting the 2 loose ends through each bead. If you have trouble, you could use a wire, or maybe you have some beading wires, you know, type things that you can use. Now I did have to watch my ends. This particular cording, the ends start fraying, so I had to cut them off a couple times in order to keep them going through my beads. So now you get 1, 2, yeah, get 5 on there. So far so good with fitting through the holes. Okay, so you get 5 on there. And I'm sure there's a lot of different ways to do this. I just wanted to go ahead and trust the process of the video I watched and do what she said, right? So I'm going to go ahead. These are getting pretty frayed. I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. That's another reason to put extra when you start out on your cording, so that if you have to cut off the ends, you're not cutting off really needed length. So now she took one cord, and she put the last 2 on. So let's see, we did yellow, red, green, yellow, red, green. So green at this point. And you're going to say in the end, wow, that was easy, but except for the last part. If you've ever done the last part, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a little tedious, but it worked out in the end, so that's why I say trust the process. Okay, the green one and then the yellow one. And then you go ahead and put on your charm or whatever you're putting on the end. I pulled out a few other examples. I have I put this charm right here, this bee charm, on the first one. This one is actually a different color than the other one. This one is kind of pink or almost beige. The other one was yellow and black. And this is another bee charm that I have. I'm going to use this one this time. But I have other examples. If you've never done this before, you could put a tassel, a little yellow tassel on the end of this would look cute. This little tassel, I actually got those from Temu too, and these also sunflower charms would look super cute on this one. And I got that from Temu too. Actually, I bought one, a set. Here it is in the bag. Here they are. I bought a set, and then I placed another order, and they gave me a choice of a few things to pick for free as a free gift, and this was again one of them. And since I know I love sunflowers, I picked that, so I actually ended up with 2 of those now, which I will certainly use because like I said, I love sunflowers. So at this point, you put your charm on, and I didn't, I got out my goodies before, all my ingredients here before the video, before I watched the video, and I didn't realize this step was like this because I got out, I had lined up here a bunch of jump rings, and I was like, oh, I don't even need a jump ring. Oh my goodness. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, right? So this is the point where you need your extra length, okay? So you've got your one string here and your other string up here in between the 2, the 2 last ones and the 4th or 5th bead. So now at this point, you got your charm on there. So I kind of she kind of had her charm kind of pretty tight up there, but I kind of just moved it like that. See the little space I have there? And then you start putting this one string that you have here down at the bottom, you start putting that back through. So, and it went right through because, we put 2 strings up through here. So, but I did have to, this is where you need a little bit of leeway. So you need your that extra, if I would have made it 12 inches like I thought, I wouldn't have had enough. So I was like, thank goodness I, left some extra. So, like I said, 14, 15 inches. So there's one. So now we got to get it through the other one, this green one right here. See, I still have these kind of loose, so I can work with this. And see, it's already fraying again. Your cord might not fray. This is vintage for one thing, and it's just probably the way this cord is. But like I said, I wanted to use it. It's very strong, just like any other cording, and why not use it, have it. What else am I going to use it for? So now just get it through here. The other one, the first one I made, went really smoothly, so hopefully this one will too. it just went right through with my fingers. I didn't have to like do anything special. So let's see if I have to do anything special. You know how it is on video, it always goes a little different than it does off video. Okay, did I get through? Yeah, I have a pokey tool here, or an awl. This is my awl that I use for punching my holes when I sew in signatures. Anyway, there's my cord. Okay, so I've got both my cords now here above these two. So at this point, you want to pull it tight. So pull it tight, like your top is tight now. You're going to pull that one down, make those tight. You don't want it so tight that it's going to like bind up and like just, you know, be too tight, but tight enough so they're you know, everything is together. Okay. So, and then you need to look at your charm. How is your charm hanging? So that, I feel like, I mean, that's good, but I think I'd like it a little bit looser, like hanging like a charm. So I'm going to pull that down a little bit. And at that point, so you're pulling your string a little bit. See how my string came down there? See, I like it like that a little bit. You can use a jump ring if you wanted to, but I wanted to trust the process, like I said, so I did it her way. And so you actually don't have to have jump rings to do this craft, and your charm hangs properly, just like that. Isn't it cute? So this I found to be the hard part or tedious part, but I really had to trust what she was saying and do what she said, because I was like, oh no, this is never going to work. I'm going to have to. So what she did, let me show you. Tie a knot and pull that tight. Okay. So pull that tight. And then she took it and tied another knot, and she wrapped it around, and she called it a doctor's knot. She wrapped it around once, and she wrapped it around twice. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be way too bulky. And I actually didn't even pull it tight at first, because I'm like, I'm going to have to undo this and just tie one knot. This is never going to work. And I'm not a pessimist either, so I was just like, I've made enough jewelry to know, like, that's a big knot, you know what I mean? So, but I didn't. I trust the process. So I'm going to trust the process again, because I'm still like, that was a little hard, but it worked. Okay, so at this point, you pull it tight. I'm trying to see if it looks the same as my last one. Did I pull the first one tight enough? I wonder, because it's looking a little different. Hold on. Yeah, I think I did. I don't know, it just looks different. It looked bulky last time though too, so let's just trust the process. So last time on the first one, I know I'm going to have to undo this. I thought for sure I was going to have to undo this, so I didn't even pull it. I didn't cut these off. I left them because I was like, I'm going to have to undo this, so I'm not going to cut those off yet. But it worked out in the end, so this time I'm going to trust the process again. See, I'm still like a little worry about it, the whole thing. But I'm going to cut it right down to the wire there, pretty much. Right down to the wire. Now you can put a little glue on there if you're worried, but I didn't on that one, and it's got that doctor's knot on it, so at this point you start poking it into the hole. Now what she did was poke it into this one, the fifth one down, right above here. So that's what I did too. I started poking it in, and she used a little pokey tool, or awl, what the proper name is an awl. Over on my Junk Journal channel, everybody calls it a pokey tool. I mean, the Junk Journal community calls it a pokey tool. Somebody started the pokey tool thing, and it stuck. So I call it both. But you start poking it into this bead here, and just keep pushing. Just keep pushing it in. I might have to pause and push, because this one, it might take, okay, yeah, there it goes. It's going. It's a big, you know, these beads have a pretty good size hole. So yeah, I just kept pushing. And if you have, my pokey tool or awl has a very fine or thin needle type thing on the end. If you have something else to use, you can use that, something that will fit into your bead. So that's what I did. I pretty much used my little awl here. And then I was like, oh, it doesn't seem to be going all the way into that hole. So I actually poked some into this hole. the next hole down, the next bead, which is the 6th one down. So I was like, okay, you know, she didn't say to do that, but it just felt right. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go with your gut. And see, there it goes. It's disappearing. That double, almost like a triple knot, is going down into that bead. And this is something that's going to, like, for what my purposes, hanging it on the side of a junk journal, it almost doesn't need to be like professional looking or so perfect. Like if a little, like up here some of the black is showing, because I didn't want it to be so tight that you couldn't do this. I wanted it to have a little, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of flexibility, but it has a little bit of flexibility. So at this point you can see some little black here, you see a little black there from the cording. So, you know, at this point I could stop poking this in here. I'm just going to do it a little bit more and just make sure I'm happy with it type thing. So that's what I did with the first one. And then I also used my point on my scissors that I just had right here. So this is the thinner point right here on these scissors. So I just went like that and kind of just made sure it was down in there. I tried to make sure it was down in there as much as I could get it. And there you go. See what I mean? By trusting the process, it looks great. You know, you can, at this point you can, you know, if you're like this was just crooked, so okay, I'm going to straighten that up. It's going to hang on a journal or a tassel like that. And my little bee down here is still, you know, kind of flexible. You know, it's not like just stiff as a board where it's up in that hole and you can't move it. So anyway, that is my jewelry craft for today. A bead dangle with a bee on it. And here's the two different ones. So these bees, let's see. Oh, I got those from like BB Craft or somewhere. These bees, somewhere like that. I do a lot of demonstrations for BB Craft, N beads, Co beads, all of those. So yeah, I got those. That's where I got those. But I'm sure they have some bee charms if you wanted to order them on Temu. You know, just compare prices or Amazon or whatever. But I think they're super cute, and I really like that I got to use that cording and these little hooks that I, you know, like I said, I never used those before. So anyway, I'm going to put, I just thought I better put for you in the, where's my snowman? I better put for you in my description box, or maybe in my description box and my, you know, maybe the first comment after this post, I'll put in the description box. There's my snowman over there. Oh, that's the one on my, I can't find my snowman. Anyway, here's the one on my tassel here. So I'm going to put my coupon for Temu in my description box, and if you've never ordered from them before, you can get 30% off your first order. So yeah, and that helps me too. I'm a Temu affiliate, so that helps me to get points, and then I can get things from Temu at some point. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's little bead dangles, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to check out the other participants and check out Deb's channel. They will all be linked below, so you can just click on that link and see what everybody else did. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, and see you in my next video.